Hi, I'm Scott Nelson. I'm rerunning for City Council. I've been on council for 4 terms, 3 as City Councillor and 1 as Mayor. It's been a fantastic opportunity. It's a humbling experience. One thing about Williams Lake is it's a growing community, and a growing community that's in the process of creating a fantastic transition. We're actually going through a boom, and it's Williams Lake's turn. We're seeing good things taking place inside of our community. There's development on all corners of this community. But because it's good times right now, we've got to look to the long term. And by looking to the long term, we have to continue to ensure that it's manageable, positive growth. Williams Lake's looking at getting a new hospital. We've lobbied for a helipad on that. That's important because we want to be able to attract professionals and doctors and nurses. And our hospital is outdated. That's a $200 million project with a heliport that we're looking to land. Williams Lake is probably one of the best communities in the province of British Columbia. When you look at the RC Cotton site, we've just purchased that. We're looking to create a network of trail systems down there that's going to add to the recreational opportunities and the tourism opportunities for Williams Lake. It's going to open up our beach. It's going to give us a bigger boat launch. It's going to give us added trails to a system that we've worked hard to include, such as tying in the downtown core and adding in things such as the Stampede grounds. Crime in our community, we've added an extra police officer. We've worked hard with the province to add the I-HIT crews to come into our community. They're doing a great job. I'm proud of our RCMP. They live in our community, they work in our community. Williams Lake is growing, and it's a growing community. We need to ensure that what we do in the next several years is look to the long term. We need to invest money in the infrastructure, such as the university, the Western Avenue expansion, and of course, what we want to do is add the expansion for the West Side Connector. I'm Scott Nelson. Looking forward to seeing you over the election. I think the most important thing is that the world is changing, Canada is changing, British Columbia is changing. If you're not in partnership with the First Nations today, you're not in business. Williams Lake has worked hard over the last several years to ensure that we partner, that we create memorandums of understanding, that we collaboratively create approaches to work with our First Nations. I'll give you the best example. We've got a community forest that we started 20 years ago. We partnered with the First Nation, the Williams Lake Indian Band, and that couple gave us 40,000 cubic meters. That produced, in 2018 for the first time, $1 million for the Williams Lake Indian Band and $1 million for Williams Lake. Over the next several years, that's going to give each of our communities millions of dollars. That's just one example of working together. We came out and we supported the Williams Lake Indian Band in the court case when they went to the Supreme Court. We need to work with our First Nations. They're our neighbors, they're our friends, and they're our partners. We need to work collaboratively. This is the biggest question in front of us. When you look at the opportunities that Williams Lake has got, when we first were elected 4 years ago, we did a corporate reorganization. We saved $4.5 million. We cut literally 9 staff out at City Hall. That was challenging, but we recognized clearly at that time we couldn't afford it. We maintained the services across the board. We capped all senior staff, we capped all politician staff. We also ensured that what we did was we ran 0% for 3 years and 1.9% in the last year. We never moved water and sewer services at all. The value here is that we need to make sure that what we do for the long term is always find that balanced approach. We need to grow our economy in order to be successful. By growing the economy, we can maintain and extend our services. If we slow the economy down, that's where the challenge begins. But Williams Lake is in this boom, and I think that's a good cycle for Williams Lake to be at. Over the next 5 to 10 years, Williams Lake is going to be in a great position. This is a big issue. This is one of the ones that is facing Canada, facing British Columbia, facing municipalities, whether you're in Surrey, Prince George, Williams Lake, Quesnel, or Williams Lake. We've partnered with the federal government and the provincial government. We're looking for our share to ensure that we can have money that's going to come back to our community to put these programs in place. But just equally as important, by doing this process, what the federal government is doing is they're actually taking a substance and they're going to try and make it safer. That's the most important process that's unfolding here. By taking and controlling a controlled substance that we know on the street is 60% contained with fentanyl. So by supporting the provincial government and the federal government and ensuring that what we do is get grants back to offset any community issues that may come up is a critically important process. We're asking for 50% from the province to partner up with us. That's hundreds of thousands of dollars that will come back to our community for community programs. You know, we went through a terrible time, but we learned a lot, and our community was safe. I think there's a couple of things that we need to do. We need to fire safe our community by a number of initiatives. We need to work with the province to ensure that they continue the funding allotments that they put in by spacing out trees around our community. We need to create a buffer zone inside that community between 2 and 5 kilometers around our community. We also have to ensure that inside of our community, that if there are dead trees, those trees have to come out. The other advantage that we've got is having the water bomber, which is based in our backyard. We went after that to ensure that our community was having that base put in Williams Lake. That was successful. So we've got a water bomber in our back base. But at the end of the day, we need to ensure that we're aggressive by putting a fire zone in and around our community between 2 and 5 kilometers, cleaning out the spacings under the trees, and working with the local companies and community forests to ensure that at the end of the day, we've got sustainable but clean forests.